Nate McLeod stepping in. Guy that was an all-star with the Pirates last season. Hitting .263 as a member of the Braves. And fouls it away. And Kyle Loesch making his first start since August 21st, just off the DL. Did make a relief performance on Tuesday up in Milwaukee. That ball a little high.
Tony La Russa looking for big things out of Kyle Loesch. And as we said, Chris, this is an important start for him. The Cardinals are certainly can be in cruise control if they decide to be. Tony La Russa will never let this team go in cruise control, but this is a big start for Kyle Loesch. He has 3+ pitches, a good fastball, curveball, and changeup. And this start is big for him, as all his starts are, because if he wants to be in this terrific St. Louis rotation in October, he's going to have to pitch well the rest of the season.
That, of course, our sprint pitcher profile. He is battling it out with John Smoltz for that 4th slot in the playoff rotation. Swinging a foul tip there by McLeod.
Here you see that good fastball from Loesch, 93 miles an hour, right on the inside corner and right by Nate McLeod.
McLeod only 2 for 13 lifetime against Loesch. The 3-2. Ball hammered to center. Colby Rasmus is going to snag it for an out, number 1. Take a look at the St. Louis defense. In the outfield, it's Holiday, Rasmus, and Hank Keel getting a start. Third to first, DeRosa, Ryan, Schumacher, and Pujols, who committed 2 errors last night in the loss to the Braves. The Gold Glover Yadier Molina behind the plate. You are not going to be running against that guy. You better be careful if you are on first base. You might get picked off. Martin Prado stepping in. Ball hit once again to Rasmus. He's chasing it. 1 pitch, 2 down.
What a great scouting report they had there from Martin Prado. That ball was headed to the gap, but Colby Rasmus was playing him way over to the opposite side and easily flagged it.
Here is the struggling Chipper Jones. Yes, let me repeat myself. The struggling Chipper Jones.
Don't say that much, do you?
115 he's hitting since August 16th.
Yikes.
Down to 267, and that's almost 100 points lower than when he won the batting crown last year at 364. There's a base knock.
All it took was you to talk about it, Chris. That's all.
I got to run into him more often for Chipper.
That's a beautiful piece of hitting right there from Chipper Jones. A fastball down and away, doesn't try to pull it, just rifles it into left field. That's a batting title swing right there.
Another all-star that has been struggling as of late. Stepping into the box, Brian McCann. He snapped an 0 for 20 skid on Thursday with a 4-hit performance in the win down in Houston. He's been scuffling as well.
You know, they went through a 5-game losing streak. We were talking to Bobby Cox before the game, and he's just so proud of the way his pitching staff has pitched this year. And then, boy, they looked like they were right back in it, Chris, and then all of a sudden their offense just went kaput. Everybody went cold at the same time, and they lost 5 in a row.
And back on September 2nd, they were just 3 games behind Colorado in the chase for the NL wild card. Today they are 8.5 out. McCann down 0-2. There is no question, Mark Grace, this Atlanta pitching staff has thrown the ball well enough to keep them in playoff contention. It is the bats that have really gone silent much of the second half of the season.
Yeah, the second half, the offense has really let down the Atlanta Braves. Javier Vasquez has thrown the ball so well. They've gotten Tim Hudson back. We're going to see him here this afternoon. He's thrown the ball well in his 2 starts. Derek Lowe has been a good addition to the starting staff. How good was Jair Jurgens here last night?
The winner 1-0. That ball popped up. DeRosa is going to snag it, and that's going to do it for the Braves. So they get a hit by Chipper, and that is it. Anybody ready to see Albert Pujols? He's coming your way next. day by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. It's the two kids in the middle infield, Schumacher and Ryan, 1 and 2, followed by Albert Pujols. Matt Holliday hitting .378 in 44 games since coming over in a trade from the A's. Colby Rasmus, Mark DeRosa, Rick Ankiel, Yadier Molina, and the pitcher Kyle Loach getting ready to square off against Tim Hudson, who's making just his third start since coming back from Tommy John surgery.
He has been terrific going into start number 3, a guy with all kinds of talent and success when he's healthy.
Skip Schumacher looks at ball 1. Here is today's sprint pitcher profile for Huddy.
And with that new elbow, he's got the late movement, a fastball that moves all over the place, nothing straight. And then he's also got a swing and miss changeup. That's the pitch that he really gets the strikeout with, is his good changeup.
Did he ever get you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think 0 for 3 lifetime off of Tim Hudson. I'd rather not talk about it, to be honest with you, Chris.
Okay, we'll move on to the 24 or 2,500 hits or so you did get. Ball ripped to Prado, gloves it from his knees, and there is 1 down. Nice defensive play by Martin Prado, and here's the rest of the guys sharing the diamond with him. And in the outfield, it's Anderson, McLeod, the Gold Glover, and Diaz. LaRoche, Prado, Escobar, and Chipper Jones. His 20 errors, most by big league third baseman Brian McCann behind the dish, and Tim Hudson out on the mound. Shortstop Brendan Ryan stepping into the box. Guy that has really taken his game to a new level this year, so says Tony La Russa.
Yeah, we were talking to Tony before the game, and he, boy, his just eyes just lit up when you mentioned the name Brendan Ryan. How proud he is of just how far this kid has come along this year, offensively and defensively.
Looks at a strike. He's always been a fun-loving guy. Does some great impersonations as well. But this year, it seems like he's matured. He's finally realized, hey, you know what? I got to be the starting shortstop for a division champion.
Yeah, you can still be funny, but you better take your shortstop stuff as serious. Interesting kid.
Ball hit on a hop to Chipper Jones off his glove. That's got to be a base hit. Jones was playing in at third.
As you said, he's playing in. Chipper may have mistimed it. No, he didn't mistime it. Maybe 5 years ago, he'd have made that play. I'll have to get on him about that after the ball game.
So a man on now for the Major League home run leader, Albert Pujols. Second in batting average to Hanley Ramirez. Second in RBI to Prince Fielder. And he looks at a called strike. And what an amazing year for Albert Pujols. But I seem to say that every year as you look at the numbers.
Without question, the best player in baseball. And you mentioned he made a couple of errors here last night. He's a Gold Glove first baseman as well. Runs the base as well. He just has no weaknesses.
Throw back. With all the amazing numbers that Pujols has put up over the years, he's only led in one Triple Crown category in his career. That's when he won the batting title back in 2003. Doesn't have a home run title. Doesn't have an RBI title.
He will this year.
He's sniffing a few.
Isn't it amazing? These St. Louis Cardinal fans just in silence when number 5 steps in the box.
Ball ripped and another base hit for Pujols. So the Cards with something cooking here in the first.
Let's take a look at that MVP swing. Just a short stride. That pitch stays up around the belt. Very short stride, and just those hips just explode through the ball, and he just rifles it into left field. I think Tim Hudson's going to have to feel rather fortunate that ball didn't go out of the ballpark.
Well, now it is the not-so-new acquisition by the Cardinals. Matt Holliday hitting .378 since being picked up in a 4-player deal from Oakland. Talk about the perfect guy to hit behind Albert Pujols.
Yeah, he's going to get Albert Pujols' pitch too. And if you do put up four fingers and walk him, Matt Holliday is a guy that consistently in his career has put up MVP numbers as well. Pick your poison.
Well, look at what Matt Holliday has done to the National League since coming over from the A's. He has just done it all. Actually leading the Cardinals in RBI, and the most impressive number, 32-12. Best record in the big since the deal.
He's actually outperformed Albert Pujols.
Another rip. That one's going to left field. Here comes Brendan Ryan, and it is 1-0 Cards. The 43rd RBI for Matt Holliday as a Cardinal. RBI number 97 overall.
He's got a much higher leg kick than you see from Albert Pujols, but the same result, a pitch up in the strike zone. Past Yunel Escobar, 1-0 Cardinals. Isn't it amazing? Two great hitters, yet two very different approaches to have their success.
3 straight singles to the left side. The Cards are in business. And the Cards, they don't mind jumping out early. 84 times this season they have scored first. Colby Rasmus, the 23-year-old center fielder, rips one to left center. That's going to fall in front of McLeod. They're waving Pujols. Here comes the throw home, and Pujols is safe. It's 2-0.
Well, they are just teeing off right now on Tim Hudson. Not a bad pitch there. That's on the corner around knee high, but boy, Rasmus does a beautiful job driving it right back up the box.
Pujols even hesitated coming home.
Not sure, okay, but Jose Oquendo, the third base coach, bringing him on in anyway.
Roger McDowell, a quick trip out to the mound to try and settle down the two-time All-Star, who's once again only making his third start, coming back from that Tommy John surgery. But Bobby Cox said he's very healthy. He's looked great in his first 2 starts. In fact, he retired the final 14 batters he faced in Sunday's no decision against Cincinnati. Mark DeRosa, yet another new Cardinal. Can't quite check his swing there.
That was the changeup. That's the swing and miss changeup. That might have been the first changeup we've seen here from Tim Hudson. I think he realizes, you know what, these Cardinals are attacking my early fastballs. So I'm going to have to go with the off-speed stuff, try to keep my team close.
That's inside. DeRosa came over in a trade from the Cleveland Indians back in late June. A few days later, he was placed on the DL with a left wrist injury. In fact, that's something he's going to have surgically repaired right after the season. Fouled away. Mark DeRosa, one of several free agents to be in this Cardinals lineup, and this week Cards let it be known, hey, we want you to stick around. They've started preliminary discussions to keep him around here a few more years. Obviously, the guy out at second base, Matt Holliday, Scott Boras' client. What's going to happen with him at the end of the year?
Well, he's going to be a wealthy young man at the end of the year. It's just a matter of who's going to give it to him. I would imagine Matt Holliday is going to do all he possibly can, Chris, to stay in the National League. This is where he's comfortable. Didn't do all that well over in the American League with the A's this year.
Ball hit to center. McLeod, a few steps to his left. Holliday tags. He is headed to third. So first and third and 2 down. Yeah, talked with Matt Holliday. He even told me that listen, it was a young lineup out there in Oakland. They don't exactly know which way they're headed.
Right.
They'd brought in a few veterans, Holiday, Orlando Cabrera as well. It just didn't work out. Obviously, anybody that's hitting behind Albert Pujols is going to feel a little more comfortable.
Well, and he's also, on most days, he's got Ryan Ludwig hitting behind him, so he gets plenty of pitches as well.
Yeah, the odd man out in the Cardinals outfield, there's the guy at the plate, Rick Ankiel, making his first start since Tuesday. Ankiel hitting .231 with 11 homers, 37 RBI. It's been a struggle, just an on-base percentage of .284 this season. Ball hit slowly to LaRoche, gloves it, steps on the bag. But 4 singles, played 2 runs off of Tim Hudson, and the Cards with a 2-0 lead as we head to the Budweiser is sponsored by Sprint. Get more done with Nextel Direct Connect. Only from the Now Network. By Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And by X-Men Origins. Wolverine on Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday. Cardinals with a pair in the first off of Tim Hudson, giving Kyle Loesch a 2-0 lead. Garrett Anderson stepping into the box and looking at an off-speed pitch for strike 1.
Momentum inning here for Kyle Loesch and the Cardinals. Your offense just went out and got you 2 quick runs. Now you need to come right back out and slam the door. Back-to-back breaking balls for strikes. Fast worker is Kyle Loesch. We like those guys.
Well, who would?
You love playing behind them.
Does it really make that much of a difference?
Absolutely, it makes a huge difference. If you've got somebody that just stays right on the pitcher's mound there, looks in, gets a sign, and throws strikes. You're on your toes. You're expecting the ball to be put in play, and you get good defense behind you because of that.
Garrett Anderson came over to Atlanta after spending his entire career with the Angels. In fact, he is that team's all-time hits leader, games played. He's done it all out there. Now hitting .278. The 2-2. Ball tapped, foul.
Went after him with a high fastball there after 4 straight slow breaking balls. Anderson somehow was able to get on top of that pitch and pull it foul.
It has really been a struggle for this Braves offense. On Thursday, they scored 9 runs against the Houston Astros. But in their last 8 games, 7 games other than that, it's been 11 runs total. So here's a little base knock by Anderson to get him going.
You know, from center field, you see why Garrett Anderson has just had such a great career. Gets a fastball in the middle of the plate. Short and quick. Look how quickly that bat gets through the zone. Never overswings does Garrett Anderson, always under control. A couple of big old boys over there comparing notes.
And a lot of big numbers. One guy who's actually been producing for the Braves is this man, Yunel Escobar, hitting .326 since the break. Is it a ball high?
Just a good player. Good shortstop. Got some speed. Hit the ball in the gaps, sometimes over the boards. Just a good hitting shortstop. Kind of flies under the radar for some reason. Because you've been talking about Derek Jeter, you know, all the time. I guess it's tough as a shortstop to get any love these days the way Derek's going.
Yeah, what's that guy ever done?
Hey, congrats to Derek Jeter, by the way. Kind of cool.
Yeah, you know,
Yankees have been around for a while.
They have. They've put up some pretty impressive numbers as a franchise. This ball lifted to short left field. Holiday coming in, squeezes it for out number 1. Talk about some history and some numbers. We've got plenty in the respective dugouts out here. Tony La Russa, 3rd all-time in managerial wins. Bobby Cox, 4th. Last night he picked up his 2,400th win. He told us that somebody actually had to let him know he got to 2,400 last night. And I mean, this is something we will never see in the game again.
No, I not in this day and age. You won't see managers manage this long. That's what I think. I just think anymore. Remember when you were young, Chris, and maybe the team you were following, probably you were following the Cleveland Indians growing up in northern Ohio.
Yeah.
And I grew up, you know, in this area. There sometimes, you know, the front office would tell you, you know, about 5-year plans. As that was skied to deep center field.
LaRoche gives it a charge, and that ball is played. Both Rasmus and Holiday collide into one another. Anderson is going to score. LaRoche is going to end up at 3rd. And now you got to check the health of both Rasmus and Holiday.
LaRoche drilled it a long ways into left center field.
That ball just kept on carrying,
didn't it? And you see Rasmus and Holiday, no communication there, and somebody's got to go up and get the baseball. And all you youngsters out there, if you're the center fielder, you're in charge. It didn't look like he was calling for it, and he ended up getting a face full of Matt Holiday for his efforts.
And LaRoche's 2nd triple of the year means the Braves have the tying run just 90 feet away as Matt Diaz steps in. Diaz, the guy that was red hot in the month of August, hit .404 to lead the Bigs. He's cooled off a bit in September, but still leading the charge with an average of .320.
Big power the other way, can really drive a baseball to the right side of the ballpark.
Ball fouled away as he tried to go to the right side.
But I want to get back to La Russa and Bobby Cox. I just don't think. Remember in the day, like you would hear about 5-year plans. You know, we got a 5-year plan. There's no such thing anymore.
No.
In this world we live in, it's such in the sports world, not just baseball, but it's win and win now or you're gone. And there's just no more patience as far as front offices are concerned, or fans are concerned, or the media is concerned. The media will run you right out of town.
Well, it's the great organizations like the Cardinals and the Braves that get the idea. You know, let's keep everybody intact.
Right.
And you'll end up getting those. Loesch ahead of Diaz, 1 and 2. Now the infielders charge in. Ball outside. Both Schumacher and Ryan, who were playing deep, and charged in on that play as though expecting something to take place.
Well, and Tony La Russa likes to do that. He likes to because as a hitter, when you're looking out at the pitcher, you can see these. You can see the quirkiness of what's going on now. Here they come again.
Ball hit to right center. Here comes Ankiel. He has got a gun, and LaRoche isn't going to test it.
You are a very smart young man, Adam LaRoche. That kid had one of the best fastballs in all of baseball when he was a pitcher, and he just shows you another fastball right on the button. Yadier Molina just goes into the crouch, smothers it. Nothing doing. What a cannon.
Well, it was actually against the Atlanta Braves in those 2000 playoffs where it all kind of came unraveled for Rick Ankiel, who had finished second in Rookie of the Year voting after going 11-7, and then just ball just started ending up in the backstop. But boy, kudos to that guy. I mean, talk about changing your profession.
It's
basically
unheard of. It's unheard of what he did. From a pitcher to a starting center fielder, and only after a couple of years down in the minor leagues. It's been a struggle for him this year.
Yeah, other than Babe Ruth, there aren't a lot of guys that have done that. Tim Hudson now at the plate. It's 1-1. Now, don't sleep on Hudson, because this guy also played some center field while at Auburn, hit almost 400, 18 homers, almost 100 RBI. So this guy can put bat on ball. There's a ball hit well. Holiday is going to watch it. Get out of here.
As you were saying, Chris Rose. My goodness, did he ever hammer that ball into the Braves bullpen? And a bit of a slow trot.
Well, when it's your first career homer, I guess you want to make the jaunt count. Smiles all around for Tim Hudson. Well, maybe that's what Bobby Cox has been needing in the lineup.
You want some offense? Turn to your pitcher. Turn to Tim Hudson. Stunned silence here in St. Louis. Let's take a look, another look at it. Now a fastball right down the middle, and you were talking about a center fielder at Auburn, hit over 400. Well, he showed us how right there. I mean, that got out of here quickly, Chris.
Look at the guys in the bullpen. They're like touchdown out there. Throw it up.
Well, it is Saturday.
Yeah. Well, how's that feel to give it up to another pitcher? It's a rough go.
I do know how he feels.
Yeah.
I gave up a home run.
Yeah, in fact, he's there in the Braves dugout if you want to go talk to him.
Well, he's the best hitter in baseball.
Yeah.
And that's David Ross.
That was his first big league homer, was it not?
First big league homer. Poor guy waits his whole life to hit his first big league home run. And who's he hit off? Me.
Good job, Meat. Well, that one's off of the glove of Brendan Ryan and trickles into center field. Fourth hit of the inning for the Braves.
And all of a sudden, Kyle Loesch starting to get hit hard here in the top of the inning. And we were talking about that momentum thing, Chris. It's so big to go out and have a good, crisp inning after your team gets a couple of runs. Well, what happens? Loesch goes out, gets too much plate with a few fastballs. Now all the momentum is in the third base dugout, in the Atlanta Braves dugout.
24th pitch of the inning for Loesch. Check on McLeod, who leads the Braves in steals, only with 10 on the year. Martin Prado lined out on the first pitch that he saw in the first. Catches the outside corner.
Now Loesch starting to break out a few more off-speed pitches. That was the breaking ball. And as you said, shaved the outside corner. That's a nice pitch. You can't just sit back there and plate fastballs and expect to get major league hitters out. You got to go to plan B once in a while.
Well, Loesch has had to deal with injuries really for the first time in his career. He ended up on the DL for 39 days back in the middle of the season with a flexor muscle tear in his right forearm. Then he strained his groin on August 21st while running the bases out in San Diego. First two times he's ended up on the DL in his career. So this is something new. That ball is popped up, playable for Pujols. But the Braves take the lead with 3 of their own in the second. Tim Hudson's first career homer. Enjoy that trot, my man. You're up 3-2. Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Tim Hudson popping a champagne cork this afternoon after his first career home run in the second. Give the Braves a 3-2 lead. Now Yawn back to his day job. And strike one to Yadier Molina.
Fireworks early in this ball game. Already 9 base hits here. And we're in the bottom of the second.
Fouled away. Hudson ahead 0-2. Hudson in the final year of his contract. There is a $12 million mutual option he has with the Braves. Hudson said, well, you know what, I'm not going to decline that. There is a $1 million buyout. So the Braves have basically 3 more weeks to decide whether or not to make Tim Hudson, an injured Tim Hudson at that, part of their rotation in 2010.
Tough decision. I'm glad I don't have to make it, Chris, but this is another guy, and I'm sure Bobby Cox is going to need to see some really good stuff from Tim Hudson down the stretch if that indeed is going to be picked up.
Well, you look at the rotation as they have it right now.
A great rotation.
Jurgens has been phenomenal this year. Tommy Hanson, who came up in the middle of the season, vying for Rookie of the Year honors. We'll speak to him later in the broadcast.
Javier Vasquez has been terrific.
Great. More than 200 homers or 200 strikeouts yet again this year. That'd be impressive if he got 200 homers. And then where does Tim Hudson fit in? You've got Derek Lowe as well. A lot of money committed to him. So a lot of questions for the Braves as they look forward to 2010. Almost 150 wins for Mr. Hudson. Ball fouled away. And when this guy was out in Oakland, he was phenomenal. Nasty.
Yes. They had the big 3 there with Tim Hudson, Barry Zito, Mark Mulder.
Spent some time here in St. Louis.
Injuries ended his promising career. Boy, he was something.
Ball hit up the middle on a hop to Escobar. And there is one down there. Well, Saturday Baseball on Fox, presented by Budweiser, returns next week. Some of you are going to see the Cards take on the Cubs. big one out in LA between the Giants and the Dodgers. And also, don't forget about the AL Central. The Tigers and the Twins. It is coming away next week beginning at 4 Eastern. Check your local listings. Tigers have been struggling a little bit this week, falling to the Royals and the Jays. And
they got swept by the Royals.
Yeah, give it a chance for the Twins and the White Sox to get back in it, but those two teams can't really capitalize.
They haven't capitalized. And, well, Big Jim Thome residing out in Los Angeles now. The White Sox trading him.
Well, Kyle Lohse having a nice year at the dish. Rolls it to LaRoche, who's going to take it himself. So well, Hudson keeps the other team's pitcher in the ballpark. Gets back up to the top of the lineup with Skip Schumacher, who grounded out. Nice play by Martin Prado to get him back in the first. But Schumacher, a guy who Tony La Russa just was glowing about. Not only because of what he's done here at the dish, but defensively.
Called him the best story in baseball this year.
An outfielder until making the transition pretty much in spring training to second base. He did play some shortstop at UC Santa Barbara, but to make that move at this level,
it's very difficult to do, and he's played fantastic defense at second base.
Ball hit to Escobar's right, gloves, throws, and nice 1-2-3 inning for Tim Hudson. Chipper Jones, a base hit his first time. Can the slumping former MVP get another base stop? He's up. Braves with a 3-2 lead, top of the third. Chipper Jones, a base hit in the first. And it has truly been a struggle for this guy lately, although his numbers against Kyle Lohse. Maybe Lohse is the perfect tonic for Jones.
Don't tell Kyle Lohse that.
Swing and a miss.
Right back to a fastball right by him, 0-2.
Well, Jones said if he struggles in 2010 like he has this year, he's going to call it quits.
He might hang him up. I would hate that because, you know, I'm a fan first anymore, and always been a fan of this kid. The way he respects the game, the way he plays the game. He plays it at an unbelievable level.
That one high and tight.
But baseball needs players like Chipper Jones.
But at the same time, this is a guy who signed a 3-year, $42 million extension back in March. He said, listen, I can walk away from the money. I mean, believe me, the money's great.
Sure.
But I can't disrespect the game and probably even disrespect himself. That's probably what he's thinking. Ball hit high to right center. And Keel's going to glove it for out number 1. And time right now for a DirecTV game break. Let's send it to Chris Rhodes. All right, Chris, thank you very much. Derek Jeter hit number 27-24, but who's counting this afternoon against the Orioles? Brian Robertson, 5th career grand slam, no problem there. But how about a little defense from the O's? Robinson Cano fouls one. Nolan Raimo, excuse me, was in the expensive seats. They'll charge him $2,500 just for poking his head in there as the Orioles take care of it. Remember to follow your favorite out-of-market team only on DirecTV.
Good to have you back, Chris.
Thank you. Those split personalities come in handy when you're doing both. Brian McCann popped out to third to end the first inning for the Braves. And with a guy like McCann, you have to wonder whether or not maybe he's getting a little run down.
It can happen, especially to catchers.
Playing in that heat.
In hot weather cities. I mean, it's hot everywhere in the summertime, but April and May, it's hot in Atlanta. Whereas you might get the northern cities, a place like St. Louis in the Midwest. It doesn't start to get hot here until June.
Ball fouled away by McCann. And what a great start to his career for Brian McCann. 4 years, 4 All-Star games.
A local kid from Georgia. John Smoltz was his favorite player growing up.
Swing and a miss, and Molina's going to throw it to first to complete the strikeout.
Time for a DirecTV game break. Let's kick it out to Chris Rose. Chris, what do you got for us?
Gracie, thanks. Over on the north side, it's tied in the ninth, but Carlos Marmol, he's going to give it up, doing his best Kevin Gregg impression. Drew Sutton with a 2-run double as the Reds take care of business against the Cubs. 7-5 your final. Remember to follow your favorite team only on DirecTV. And so the Reds win means that the Cardinals' magic numbers down to 11. We're talking magic numbers. Second week in September.
It's pretty much a formality now with this Cardinal ball club. Good to have you back, Chris.
Thanks. A little more energy on the toss next time, if you don't mind.
I promise.
Ball ripped by Anderson, and Keel's coming, and he gloves it for out number 3. So as the Cards hit in the third, we will talk to the former Brave and current Cardinal, John Smoltz, next.
So glad to be in St. Louis.
I'm sure you are. You'll be watching Brendan Ryan, Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday take their cuts. And Smoltz, is it a little weird being in the stadium and watching the Braves in the other dugout?
It always will be, whether I play another 5 years or don't play another day after this year. It's one of those things that you never, or I know I will never get used to, because I spent so long there. And, you know, I never thought it'd be the third time around I'd be facing or watching us face the Braves after the Boston series.
Ryan singled and scored in the first.
And Smoltz, after being the leader of a ball club for 22 years as you were with the Atlanta Braves, now I imagine you're just over there trying to fit in a bit, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, it's a perfect situation over here. You just show up. Don't mess it up for these guys.
Hey, feel free to do a little play-by-play. I've seen you do a lot of work on Turner in the playoffs. Actually, that's the only bad news about being with the Cardinals. I can't listen to you during the first round of the playoffs.
He knows when to lay out and everything.
I was laying out for you guys right there.
Way to throw the TV term in there, Smoltz. Good job. Good job.
The first time I heard it, I didn't know what it meant, and I decided to be quiet, and they chuckled later when they forgot to let me know what that term meant.
Well, this guy might speak softly, but he carries an awful big stick. Albert Pujols, great numbers against the Braves, and Hudson as well. John, what the heck do you do with this guy when you're out on the bump?
Well, you got to get the guys out in front of you, and it's certainly nice to watch this guy up close rather than trying to grind it out on the mound. They added Holliday, and of course this whole team went into a different direction when that happened, because you can't just keep walking Albert or pitch careful to him. And he just puts so much pressure on the pitchers that they do things they wouldn't normally do, because he's up at the plate trying to be perfect.
Looks at one down and away. John, there was a possibility you could have pitched against your former team tomorrow. Are you a little disappointed you're not getting that shot?
I'm not. You know, I'm in a position now where I'm trying to get things right for whatever role they want me down the stretch, and it looks like it's going to be starting, but I'm not. I don't need any more drama. I've had enough of that this year. And certainly when I was 12 days in limbo at home, I never thought the prognosis was going to be that I would be pitching anywhere near the situation I'm pitching in right now. And it's a great opportunity for me. This organization has, you know, given me a chance to get back to the playoffs. And I'm sorry I didn't work it out with Boston.
Ball ripped by Pujols, but McLeod is going to glove it for out number one.
John, what is it you feel like you need to work on the most to get back to being the star that you are?
Well, the biggest thing is execution of pitches and you know, situations that you got to. I love the playoffs. I love the atmosphere going down the stretch. You know, I make a lot of quality pitches, but at some points your mechanics gets a little out of whack, and I'm real close to repeating everything I want to repeat. My split finger needs to get better to get to that next level, but you know, I've never had some of the trends I've had this year in my whole career, when it comes to strikeouts and walks, and I'm close. But you know how pitching and everything in baseball, close doesn't cut it sometimes. If you the results can be a little skewed, but I feel like I'm making the progress I need to make. I made mechanical changes. I stopped tipping the pitches that I was
you
doing.
didn't tip your pitches.
Well, I know they helped me out here when I was in the bullpen when they were calling every pitch I was throwing. So if I'm doing it in the bullpen, I'm doing it in the game.
Maybe you were then.
Smoltz, you watch your former teammate Tim Hudson go deep.
Yeah, I'll hear about that.
I'm sure you will. There's a ball ripped to Chipper. Glove. There's one. And there is two. Smoltz, can we keep you around after this half inning?
Absolutely. I'll stick around.
Much more of the John Smoltz Show coming your way as we will hit the top of the fourth here at Busch Stadium. of America. Show the world it's not like, it's love. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America. By Zantac. Heartburn? Attack it. Zantac. And by Chevy. Top of the fourth here at Busch Stadium. We continue our conversation with the former Brave and current Cardinal, John Smoltz, as Yunel Escobar steps into the batter's box. And Smoltz, we were talking about Tim Hudson getting his first career homer. You know how many career homers you got?
Let me see. I don't know if I 5. I know exactly how many.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you know who they came off of?
Yes.
Well, share.
Well, I got Oral Hershiser in L.A.
Attaboy.
My first one was Don Carmen in Fulton County. Then I got Butch Henry when he was with the Expos. And then the pitching coach of the, I believe, now New York Yankees.
Yep. You're right.
Got him in
Dave Island.
Yep. Got him in Turner Field. And
Turner Field, that's a poke.
Yeah, I really, my version of a pulled ball was straightaway center. Everything else went to right. I couldn't exactly pull the ball.
Do you know how many homers Gracie hit against you?
Yeah, more than he should have. He got a little.
He just made bad pitches.
I was fine with him getting his singles and doubles and many of those, but it wasn't. He got what, 3, 4?
I think I got 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Nice. Smoltz, not only does he have 6, it's the most he's hit against any one pitcher.
Take that.
Well,
how you like them apples,
I
Bob?
always loved pitching against him, like I said, and I went after him.
Easy double play is what I heard.
He got a lot of double plays off my bat as well.
I didn't quite have the split. I would have loved to have the split a little bit. Early on, I didn't have that, and I had to live with the fastball slider right into that groove left-handed swing.
You know, Smoltz and I played against each other in the minor leagues as well. He was with the Detroit Tigers. You were in Glens Falls, is that correct?
Right, Pittsfield.
Yep. So we go even further back.
Matter of fact, we got in a big. I don't know. You might have got called up when we got in the big brawl with.
I remember that. I remember that. You guys started.
Yeah, it was ugly.
What is this, a WWE I'm trying to officiate here? 2 of the best here in the 90s with Mark Grace and John Smoltz. By the way, there is a game going on. Yunel Escobar did walk to lead off the 4th here. Adam LaRoche in the box. Shadows starting to creep in here. Home plate as well.
The different start, 3 o'clock start. Smoltzy, you were a terrific starter. You were a terrific closer. Which now that you've done them both, and you've had success at both. Which did you enjoy more?
Well, I'd answer it after this pop up.
You can answer it.
If it was just regular season, I would say closing. It's much more exciting through the course of the season. You get a lot of opportunities to help your team win.
I was going to say, that's got to be an adrenaline rush, isn't it?
There's nothing like it. But when you want to win a playoffs or win the World Series, I prefer starting because I think you control more of a team's destiny. You get your starting pitchers, your next day momentum, and if you got a great staff and a great closer, obviously you win the World Series, I think. But I'd answer it that way. I enjoyed both. I thought in the transition of my career it was the thing to do to help us get to the next level, but we never got out of the playoffs with me as a closer, and I ended up going back in the rotation.
John, you're also doing some great work along with Braves pitcher Derek Lowe. One A Day Men's presents MLB Strikeout Prostate Cancer Challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a great program that they teamed up with MLB, and they're trying to strike out, like you said, prostate cancer. 1 out of every 6 men will be affected at some point in their lifetime. We rarely ever talk about it as men, and it's an opportunity to bring awareness to do the proper things. See your doctor, go get checkups to help get this disease down to a bare minimum. They've I think I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but for every strikeout this year, it's $10.
Yep,
I think there's somewhere over in the neighborhood of $400 and some $1,000. I am donating $10 for every strikeout I get this year as well, and it's just a great program that One A Day Men's and Major League Baseball has teamed up to just really help this cause that really has gone unnoticed. Most people don't know about it.
Well, we applaud you in your works there, without a doubt.
Here.
Matt Diaz up at the dish, down 0-2 to Kyle Loesch. Smoltz, before we let you go, I know you're from Michigan. Are you a Michigan fan?
I am not, and unfortunately the other team that I am a fan of had a miracle loss against Central Michigan. It's a bad day in East Lansing.
What are you? Oh, you're a Sparty.
Oh, I'm a Sparty.
Wow, you know that seems to happen once a year against the MAC,
happens
doesn't
too
it?
much. Yeah,
who did they lose to?
Central Michigan.
The Chippewas.
They scored a touchdown, went for 2, didn't make it, recovered the onside kick, and kicked the field goal to win it.
There's a ball ripped down the right field line, and Keel's going to have to play it on the hop. Escobar is going to be held at third. So it is a 1-out double for Diaz.
Well, Diaz got a fastball. He likes to drive the ball to the right side. He's got good power the other way. I'm sorry, it's a breaking ball. He just drills it down the right field line. A really good job again by Ankiel, corralling it quickly, throwing a strike to the cutoff man. And Escobar has to hold at third base, so Loesch has a chance to keep this a scoreless inning, but he's going to have to go through the home run hitter, Tim Hudson.
Yeah, I guess the big question isn't how you pitch a guy like Albert Pujols. It's how do you pitch a guy like Tim Hudson, John?
Well, he's going to be a little bit more careful, I can promise you that. He's going to get the ball away from him.
And he's going to get something off speed.
Is. Well, here is the first career home run by Tim Hudson, a 2-run shot back in the second.
Just a nice, quick, short swing. I mean, that ball got way out of here into the Braves bullpen.
390 feet. Smiles all around. Next time you see him, John, what do you say?
Well, he always used to tell us of how well he hit at Auburn, and we knew he could. BP was definitely evident of it, but nobody ever threw one to where he got that home run, and so now he can have that bragging rights for a while. But as a pitcher, I'll tell you, the next inning's the hardest inning to pitch, and he did it after hitting a home run.
Well, it's now 3-0 as Loesch is behind. The defense is in all around the infield.
Did you ever find yourself when you were pitching against the opposing pitcher, Smoltz, that you aim the ball a little bit, trying not to walk him?
Oh, there's no doubt. It's like the worst and best case scenarios. You know you're supposed to get him out, but if you don't, it's like, everyone's looking at you like, what did you do? Because you definitely, intensity goes down. And I learned later in my career to obviously attack those guys as you don't get caught up in the game that the other pitcher's throwing you all fastballs, so you got to throw him all fastballs. It doesn't work that way.
The 3-1 pitch by Loesch, and he does walk him to load the bases. Yeah, you don't want to give in to that Babe Ruth type guy. So now the bases are loaded for Nate McLeod. John, we're going to let you go. We appreciate you hanging out a full inning with us here on Fox Saturday Baseball. We're going to pay you 1/9 of Grace's salary for all the heavy lifting you've done.
Just take a few hits away from his career average. I'll be happy.
Hey, always a pleasure, pal. Stay healthy,
all
okay?
Right, guys.
John, thank you very much. John Smoltz, 210 career wins in an Atlanta Braves uniform, 154 saves, the most all time. And there aren't guys with those type of numbers. I mean, Dennis Eckersley didn't even get to 200 career wins.
No, he's a Hall of Famer, a first ballot Hall of Famer, which I never really got that anyway, Chris. The difference between a Hall of Famer and a first ballot Hall of Famer. Did he all of a sudden just get better after the first vote?
Never quite got that. I mean, you have to talk to the Baseball Writers of America, who apparently feel that it's the top honor in this game to be a first ballot guy.
I just think you either are or you aren't.
Well, Nate McLeod, see, career with the bases loaded, still looking for that first grand slam. Loesch got a tongue lashing from his pitching coach, and it didn't help because McLeod hits one to right. Escobar scores. Diaz will be held up at third. And it's now 4-2 Atlanta.
Well, McLeod didn't waste any time. The very first pitch, Kyle Loesch threw it. Looked like a changeup. It is. Stays up and out over, and McLeod just rips it into right field. Kyle Loesch slowly starting to see this game slip away from him. He needs a double play ball.
And there's some stirring going on in the Cardinals bullpen. Blake Hawksworth, the right-hander, is getting loose. Martin Prado with a chance to really put some separation between the Braves and the Cardinals now, with bases loaded and only one down. Loesch and John Smoltz, who we just spent the last inning speaking with. Obviously, they're trying to fight it out for that fourth slot if the Cardinals do need a pitcher, number 4 pitcher in the postseason, depending on how the schedule works out.
Well, Loesch really slowing things down.
Now here comes Tony La Russa.
Russa's going to come out and get him.
Disappointing afternoon for Kyle Loesch.
This was a big
start
start
off of the DEL. There will be a new man on the mound. You will meet him when we come back. Baseball presented by Budweiser. Budweiser is the great American lager. Blake Hawksworth, the new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, coming into a jam. Martin Prado, and he's going to get right out of it. It is a 4-6-3 DP. Hawksworth does his job and keeps the deficit at just 2. The Cardinals will try to get back on the board in the 4th. of the fourth. We just spoke with the old guard who used to pitch with the Braves. Now he is the rookie stud. We are talking with Tommy Hanson. Tommy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing fine. Well. Another 23-year-old Colby Rasmus stepping into the box.
We're not doing quite as well as Tommy is, though, are we?
No, he's doing fine, but I want to know what you said to Tim Hudson after he hit his first big league homer.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, he was pumped up. You could tell he was breathing pretty hard. He was jacked. You know, everyone was when he hit it, so it was awesome.
Dude, it was a home run trot. He didn't run a marathon. He was breathing hard.
Yeah, I think he was just jacked up because he hit it. You know, so it was funny.
1-1 count on Rasmus, another rookie.
Oh,
nasty
what
stuff
a pitch
inside.
that was. Goodness.
Yeah. But, Tommy, you came up in June, and you have lit it on fire. Why have you been in such control over the first few months of your big league career?
You know, I really just came up, and, you know, I wanted to help the team win as much as possible. And, you know, I felt like when I did come up, I was ready. And, you know, I wanted to start out, you know, doing good and just try to help the team really as much as possible. So I feel like I've done that for the most part, and you know, hopefully just finish strong here and keep doing the same thing.
Being the youngster on a staff that has veterans like Derek Lowe, like Javier Vasquez, this guy on the mound today, what have you learned? Is that strike three to Colby Red? What have you learned from these veterans?
I mean, everyone in the staff is, you know, they're all awesome. They're all here to help. So, you know, it's made the transition a lot easier having all these guys throwing well, and you know, being able to talk to them and really just watch them. So, you know, it's definitely made the transition a lot easier, and they've all, you know, been there to help me out, and you know, I couldn't be happier with all the guys, you know, on the staff that have helped me.
Well, Mark DeRosa hits one back to the pitcher, so it's 2 up and 2 down here in the fourth. Now you're battling it out with a couple other great rookies in the National League, and Jay Happ and Randy Wells of the Cubs for perhaps National League Rookie of the Year honors. Is it something that is there in the back of your mind? I mean, I know team success is first.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I just kind of want to stick with my same, you know, my same plan. Just go out there and try to help the team win. And you know, I feel like if I go out and you know, do my job, then you know, that's definitely a possibility. So. I mean, if that was to happen, you know, it would be a huge honor if I did get Rookie of the Year. But really, I just want to finish strong right now, and I think I got 4 more starts. So, you know, just focus on those and finish the season out.
Rick Ankiel, who finished runner-up to Rafael Furcal in 2000 Rookie of the Year voting, back when Ankiel was a pitcher in the box. One hop to the outfield, and so the Cardinals have a man on with 2 down. Tommy, quickly, what has been the biggest adjustment for you getting to the big league level? Has it been something off the field or maybe out on the mound? What has it been?
I think really it's helped me a lot. You know, the second time facing some teams. You know, just learning the hitters and trying to learn their weaknesses and how to pitch to guys. You know, like I said before, you know, everyone on the staff has helped me out a lot. And you know, having Mac back there helping me out and being able to talk to him about certain guys, it makes it a lot easier. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just trying to learn the hitters and learn the weaknesses, and you know, just learning, you know, my game plan.
Always interesting throwing to a catcher who's wearing glasses back there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Keep a good lookout.
No, Mac does a great job.
Tommy, we appreciate the time, continued success. We enjoy watching you throw the pill.
Keep it up, kid.
All right, I appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.
Tommy Hanson, the Atlanta Braves, he's going to be at the top of that rotation for a long time.
Yeah, he has never thrown in September before. And he just continues to go out there and shine late in the season. 8 scoreless his last start in Houston.
Yadier Molina looks at one down low. It's now 2-0. Blake Hawksworth, the pitcher who got a crucial double play ball at the top of this inning to keep it at just 4-2, is in the on-deck circle.
Exactly. Somehow, some way, the Cardinals only gave up 1 run in the top of the 4th inning, and they're still in it.
Now that is Mitchell Boggs. He's been a starter at times for this organization this season, out in the pen. There's a strike to Molina. What are you seeing out of Hudson this afternoon?
Well, after the 1st inning, I think he realizes that the Cardinals' game plan was to attack his fastball early in the count. I think he realized, you know what, I can't just throw those first pitch fastballs for strikes. These guys are not taking them, they're hitting them. So I've noticed him really make the adjustment, using a lot more off-speed stuff early in the count, then going to the fastball late. There was a fastball, didn't get the call there from Greg Gibson, the home plate umpire. 3-1.
Well, even though Hawksworth is in the on-deck circle, saw Boggs warming up out there, but with 2 runners on, should Molina reach, you got to figure Tony La Russa is going to that bench.
In September now, you can call up a lot of extra arms, so you'll be pinch hit for him. We'll see it right now.
And there is the first walk of the afternoon, given up by Tim Hudson, and we are going to have a pinch hitter. That is Joe Thurston. Thurston, a guy that has bounced around throughout his career. Dodgers, a little bit in the minors with the Yanks, Phils, the Nats, even 4 games for the Red Sox. So Blake Hawksworth, well, 1 pitch the afternoon, but boy, it was a big one.
Arm, son.
Yeah.
He kept his team in the ball game, getting that big double play to him, the top of the 4th. But he's called back, and now Joe Thurston, as you said, a guy that's been around, done some good things for the Cardinals this year. Played some good third base.
That when DeRosa was on the DL. Thurston 5 for 27 as a pinch hitter. And looks at a ball. Two on, 2 out in the 4th. Cards down 2. And it is 2-0.
All of a sudden, after 2 quick outs in this inning, Chris, a base hit from Mankiel, and then it looks like the strike zone's starting to jump around a little bit on Tim Hudson. He's going to take a little bit of time between pitches, have a little talk with himself, and see if he can get back to the strike zone.
Ball ripped down the first base line, and that is going to play at least 1. Mankiel scores to make it 4-3. It is a 2-out run scoring double for Joe Thurston.
Well, when you have a 2-0 count, you fall behind, you become a 1-pitch pitcher, Chris, and that is a fastball, and it is right down Broadway. Thurston just rifled it down the line, and the Cardinals got sentenced there to Yadier Molina running from first base. He has to stop at third.
You know what's funny, though?
And I know how he feels.
He's the fastest of the Molina brothers, though.
That's true.
I mean, he looks like Usain Bolt next to his brothers, Jose and Benji. So now a base hit, and the Cards could reclaim the lead. Skip Schumacher fouls one off. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts. Schumacher checking in at 291 on the season. Hitting over 300 since mid-June. That bat got sawed off and ended up past Adam LaRoche at first.
One of those dangerous maple bats. Sent a javelin out towards Adam LaRoche.
Well, let's give a listen. Was that aluminum? What was that?
That's just a very strange sound. That wasn't one of those barrel cracks.
No. The 0-2. There's a ball tapped, minus the bat to LaRoche this time. Steps on first. So the Cardinals get one, but they remain down 1. Braves lead at 4-3 as we head to the 5th. Of the afternoon, it is right-hander Mitchell Boggs. It's our Zantac relief pitcher profile. 10 relief appearances. He's been a starter as well this year. Greeted by Chipper Jones. Great glove save by Ryan, but he then throws it past Pujols. Chipper's going to stay right there with his second hit on the day.
Well, the first pitch that Mitchell Boggs throws is to Chipper Jones, and it gets scraped right back up the box. Look at the effort there from Brendan Ryan, and then just a bit wide. But no error as it hit the bullpen fence, stayed in play, and Jones is a leadoff base runner.
Well, Tony La Russa told us that Brendan Ryan has more range than anybody. Another first pitch swinging. This time McCann hits it deep to left over the head of Holiday. Off the wall, and Chipper's going to hold up at third.
Wow.
So 2 pitches and 2 hits for the Braves.
And the wow was that for some reason Brian Snitker, the third base coach, held Chipper Jones at third base. That ball is just crunched to left field over the head of Matt Holliday. He had some trouble with it, Chris, out in the outfield, and Jones was kept at third base mysteriously.
Team leading 33rd double on the season for McCann, and Boggs is going to have a little chat with his Gold Glove catcher Yadier Molina.
And I would imagine after a couple of first pitch fastballs have been hit and hit hard, Chris, I would imagine Molina saying, hey, we may have to go off speed here because they're looking for that thing and they're whacking it.
Garrett Anderson 1 for 2. He singled and scored back in the second.
Off speed it is, strike one.
And once again, our Zantac relief pitcher profile. 2-2 record. Heartburn, attack it, Zantac. And Boggs, a 25-year-old right-hander from Dalton, Georgia. Anderson pops one up, foul and out of play. Actually, he's a Bulldog with the UGA between the hedges.
And I would imagine everything is shut down in Athens, Georgia today, wouldn't you think?
Why is that? Because
football Saturday,
Mitchell Boggs is pitching, and they're all.
And the old ball coach is in town.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that one. Yeah, if you want to watch a 6-3 game. Ball hit to Ryan, and they've got Jones stuck. Chipper's just standing there now.
Boy.
Ryan's going to tag him. This is not exactly been base running 101 this frame.
Well, Chipper Jones have no idea why he stopped. Brendan Ryan was going to concede the run, but Jones stopped, and really that's a huge couple of base running mistakes there by Chipper Jones. First by not scoring on the double from McCann, and then just mysteriously just stopping. And he's going to try. He doesn't really do much to get into a rundown. McCann had to stay at second, so what looked to be a promising inning now, boy, just got the rug pulled out from under it.
Well, it's a fielder's choice, so runners now at first and second with 1 down, but the Braves have the right guy at the dish. Yunel Escobar looks at one inside.
Brendan Ryan, he was going to concede the run, then he just saw Chipper Jones just for some reason not going on contact, and that's a rare mistake from a player of the caliber of Chipper Jones.
It's 2-0. Escobar hitting .396 with runners in scoring position to lead all of Major League Baseball. Loves these situations.
And really nothing can make a team look worse than base running mistakes. You know, fielding errors happen, strikeouts happen, but base running mistakes, they really make a team look bad. And that's what's happened here in the top of the 5th inning for the Braves.
Boggs is behind Escobar 3-0 with Adam LaRoche in the on-deck circle. And there is ball 4. Well, anybody check the schedule? The NFL season returns, and it counts tomorrow. And Fox NFL Sunday returns as well. So guys, take a look at the upcoming season. New faces in the NFC as well. They're going to preview the Week 1 games. NFC's rivals Washington and New York go at it. It's all on the Ford Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on Fox. Ready for a little football, my friend?
I'm ready. You?
I'll be watching Brett Favre take on my Browns tomorrow.
That's right. You're a Browns fan. Oh, my goodness. How about that?
Yeah.
The return of your guy, Brett Favre.
Adam LaRoche, an RBI triple earlier in the game. Now is a chance to do some real damage with one down and the bases loaded. And he is behind 0-2. Well, since coming over and the deal for Casey Kochman from Boston, this guy has been doing it, hitting over .330 in 37 games. Team high 9 home runs in that span. Good save by Molina down in the dirt.
You get used to that from Molina. He's a wall back there.
Really an amazing story with LaRoche. He spent 6 games with the Red Sox. He got dealt back here to Atlanta second time around. And John Lester, his teammate up in Boston, for less than a week, lets him stay at his house down in Atlanta. So that's where LaRoche is living now, after knowing Lester for less than a week. Ball lifted to left field. Holliday is going to give chase. And this will score the run. Put the Braves up 5-3 on the sac fly by Adam LaRoche. Well, once again, the NFL season begins tomorrow with Fox NFL Sunday, a doubleheader. You've got the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys taking on the Bucks? Brett Favre and the Vikings face the Browns. There's also Eagles, Panthers, Lions, Saints. Maybe the Lions will win one. Then the Redskins take on the Giants or the 49ers, Cardinals, or even the Rams and the Seahawks. Coverage begins tomorrow with America's #1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Restore the roar in Detroit, huh?
Not much of a roar last season, barely a whimper, to be honest with you. Ball 1 to Matt Diaz. Double in 2 plate appearances. And Jim Schwartz has got his work cut out for him. The rookie from Georgia, Matthew Stafford, will be under center, so that'll be exciting at least.
And the Browns, your Browns finally announced who their quarterback was going to be. Congratulations to you Brown fans for finally finding that out.
That might be our lone win this season, just announcing a starter. Job well done by Eric Mangini.
Gamesmanship for some reason.
The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed. Yeah, Brad Childress in response to that named his starter Brett Favre, but wouldn't reveal who his backup was, just to keep the Browns guessing.
Football's back, but so is September baseball.
There's a called strike. Even the count at 2-2. Two on, 2 out, a 2-2 count to Diaz. Count's now full at 3-2 with the hard-hitting Tim Hudson in the on-deck circle. There is ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Boggs.
And Cardinal pitching today very un-Cardinal-like, Chris. 9 hits through 4 2/3. A handful of walks.
And the biggest shot provided by this guy, the Braves pitcher Tim Hudson, who cracked his first big league home run back in the second inning. A 2-run shot that traveled 390 feet. Hudson looks at a strike.
Yeah, when you throw 96 miles an hour like Boggs does, just rear back and throw it to the glove.
Well, you can tell Hudson's really turning into a hitter. He looked back at the home plate umpire Greg Gibson, started questioning it.
Hey, can I get that pitch, please?
Another good save by Molina. Low and inside. Anderson at third. Escobar at second. Diaz at first. And Hudson looks at ball 2.
In this sea of red here in St. Louis, these Cardinal fans starting to get a little bit impatient.
So too is pitching coach Dave Duncan, now in his 30th season as a pitching coach at the major league level. Could have his 5th Cy Young Award winner, could be one of 2 guys on this staff. Ball tapped. Ryan gloves it, throws, and an odd inning that included 2 walks and 2 hits, but only 1 run for Atlanta. Well, Albert's got some work to do. He's coming up in the 5th. Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Bottom of the 5th at Busch Stadium. It'll be Ryan, Pujols, and Holiday to square off against Tim Hudson.
Hudson, if he wants to qualify for the win, he's going to have to get through the 5th inning. He's going to have to get through 3 awfully good hitters in Ryan, Pujols, and Holiday.
Ryan 2 for 2 this afternoon, average up over 290. This guy is really solid, all-around game. Everything's terrific except for that stash he's got working.
Yeah, you were telling me how much you enjoy his stash.
Boy, I don't know about that, pal.
Oh, come on.
It reminds me of one of those long brooms, like the end of it. Just looks, I don't know, right? A little funky.
I think you would look great in that.
Yeah.
We'll just call it the Ryan.
Yeah. Give me till next May. I might be able to get a little something. Ball tapped on a hop to Chipper Jones. 1 away. Well, it is time for our Bank of America fan cam. Want to show the world it's not like, it's love. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America. And Cards fans, known as the best in baseball. They've sold over 3.3 million tickets this year. And Tony La Russa will really be the first one to tell you that that's more than they expected, especially in today's economy. And that gave them the financial flexibility, perhaps, to go out and get guys like Matt Holliday, Mark DeRosa, and add a little bit to that payroll.
And, you know, you have arguments and you have everybody claims that their team has the best fans in baseball. I mean, fans are just different. Like New York fans they're amazing fans, Yankee fans and Met fans. Of course, in Chicago, you've got Cub fans that are out in the West. The Dodgers sell millions of tickets. San Francisco as well. I don't know if I've ever seen more knowledgeable fans, knowledgeable and obviously very loyal than these Cardinal fans here.
They treated you okay even though you were Cubby?
Classy.
Wow.
Classy. I mean, even though we were the big rival of these Cardinals, they just handled themselves with class, game in and game out. So that was popped back towards us.
Well, plenty of reasons to put your hands together when number 5, Albert Pujols, is at the dish. 1 for 2. He singled and scored back in the first. A line out as well. Pujols threatening in those Triple Crown categories, leading the majors with 47 home runs. 1 RBI behind Prince Fielder for the National League lead. And unless Hanley Ramirez forgets to set his alarm every day the rest of the season, Pujols is not going to win the batting crown for the second time in his career. But
yeah, Hanley's up there around 360.
Yeah, he's swinging it.
So is that man.
Full count to Albert Pujols. Ball hit on a couple of hops to Jones. And Chipper has recorded the first 2 outs of the 5th. And here comes Matt Holliday. And he and Pujols really 2 peas in a pod.
Watch Pujols. Foot never leaves the ground. Just goes up on his tippy toe and then right back down. Right back down it goes. And he's a marvelous hitter. Now watch Matt Holliday. I mean, watch this big old stomp. And right through it as well, and a fabulous hitter as well. It just shows you there is no right way and wrong way. Everybody has their own distinct styles, Chris. For instance, neither of those would have worked for me. I had to have a little bit, so I was somewhere in between those guys. Albert's foot never left the ground, and of course Matt Holliday's, I mean, that was almost like a band leader.
And perhaps that's why the Cardinals have such a huge leg up in the NL Central. They lead it by 11 games over the Cubs, who lost this afternoon. Holliday with a single and an RBI back in the first. Tony La Russa glowing in his praise of Matt Holliday before the game. Just said what a professional he is, and really everybody around the game of baseball knows that. He goes about his business the right way. But
yeah, Matt Holliday has a great reputation amongst players, umpires, fans. Son of a coach.
Yeah, his father, manager at Oklahoma State for all those years, and Okie State's football program off and running this season. Now this one popped up to the right side of the infield.
Pretty impressive inning by Tim Hudson.
3 up, 3 down as he gets Ryan, Pujols, and Holliday, and we head to the 6th. TV. Follow your favorite team no matter where you live with NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. By KFC. Now get the great taste of new cut grilled chicken on the KFC Ultimate Value menu. And by Tattooettes. That is the observation location inside the Arch.
You ever been up in the Arch, Chris?
No.
You haven't?
Kidding me? I didn't even know that place existed. Well, I know the Arch existed, but not that place.
Oh yeah, it's an interesting trip up, to say the least. Yes, I have more than once.
Nate McLeod rips one to center. Rasmus gloves it, and there is one away here in the 6th.
Yeah, you get on an elevator, and it's not a very roomy elevator by any means.
Right.
And
well, I'm not guessing. Yeah, in that thing.
If you're claustrophobic, you probably don't want to take that trip.
Yeah, I'm going to tap out, I think. That's,
and obviously, it's not a.
See, now this
it's not a vertical trip. Obviously, you have to, and you start leaning forward, and then right when you feel like you're about to fall forward, the elevator clicks and it straightens you back out. It's
how many people can fit in the elevator?
2 comfortably, but 5.
I'm not going to bother and ask who you took up there, please. Martin Prado.
But once you get up there, it's an amazing view. So I say we head on up there after the ball game.
Yeah. And Prado is down on strikes. Rough day for Prado as he is now 0 for 4. Well, once again, we are wearing the special pins today to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. The Michael J. Fox Foundation dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's through an aggressive research program. To learn more, log on to michaeljfox.org. Perhaps you've seen some of those PSAs. Joe Buck and Tim Carver shot with Michael J. Fox. They had such a great time with him when they shot those up in New York City.
They?
Oh, yeah. He just said Fox was hilarious. It couldn't have been funnier. Good day for Chipper Jones. 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Ball fouled away. Well, they need to. The one thing they have not gotten out of Chipper Jones over the last month or so, extra base hits. Just 2 of them in his last 28 games now. And this is a guy who's really made his living not only going over the fence with 424 homers, but living in the alleys, doubles, RBIs.
Well, up until today, he's got a couple of hits today. He hadn't gotten really anything out of Chipper, as that was a very quick inning for Mitchell Boggs and the Cardinals.
Well, the Cards come back up to the plate, down 2.
right down the middle. I mean, right on the barrel. And take my word for it, folks, it sailed way out of here into the Braves bullpen. And look at the shock on his face.
390 feet for his first career big fly. There's a ball ripped by Colby Rasmus past the diving LaRoche, and this will be extra bases as Diaz bobbles the ball out in right. It is a leadoff double for Rasmus.
First pitch swinging. Rasmus gets something he can handle, something on the middle part of the plate. Middle in. McCann wants it away, but it goes middle knee high, and he spanked it right by Adam LaRoche. Now the Cardinals cooking up a brew.
21st double on the season for Rasmus. Guy has had an outstanding rookie season.
He's another guy that's going to be mentioned in the Rookie of the Year run.
DeRosa hits one back up the middle. Rasmus is going to come home. McLeod, the throw is cut off by LaRoche, and there's nobody at first because LaRoche is the one that cut it off. So an RBI for Mark DeRosa, his 20th as a Cardinal, 70th on the season, and the Cards trail by 1.
Now Tim Hudson's thrown 2 pitches in this inning. There's a fastball up in the middle of the plate, and DeRosa right back where it came from, right back up the box. Rasmus runs well. McLeod, nothing doing.
And for the second time today, Roger McDowell has a little chat with the 2-time All-Star. Action in the Braves bullpen. Pete Moylan is the right-hander. Eric O'Flaherty, a left-hander. Both getting loose. If you have trouble telling the difference, Moylan's the one from Australia when you talk to him, by the way.
When you talk to him, he'll say good day.
Dingo ate your baby, all that sort of fun stuff, right?
That's pretty good.
Thanks. Big fan of the band Men at Work, so.
Well, weren't we all?
Rick Ankiel singled and scored back in the 4th.
Got a hankering for some Vegemite.
Yeah, the next guy we're going to talk to is Colin Hay. Remember Hay? He was the lead singer.
He was the lead singer?
There you go. Hudson keeping an eye on DeRosa. Mark Grace and Chris Rose coming your way this afternoon from Busch Stadium. Braves lead it 5-4 in the 6th. Tim Hudson, just his 3rd start back from Tommy John surgery. And Keel looks at one inside. Well, Bobby Cox told us that Tim Hudson could certainly give him 100 pitches. He said strength in the arm isn't an issue. Another one inside.
And now he's turned himself into a fastball pitcher right here with the 2-0 count on Ankiel. Ankiel can look for something at his speed and his spot. And if he gets it, he can come unglued. Huge power when this kid connects.
The 70th pitch on the afternoon for Tim Hudson. Ball fouled away at the dish.
He threw the fastball, Chris, but he really located it nicely knee-high outside corner. Nothing Ankiel could do with that one. Look at the location there. That might have even dipped out of the zone.
The 2-1. Another base hit. DeRosa is going to hang on at second, so make it 3 straight hits for the Cardinals to start the 6th.
Makes you wonder just how much longer Bobby Cox is going to stay with Tim Hudson. As you see another fastball right in the middle of the plate. pulled into the outfield, and the answer to our question, Chris Rose, is Bobby Cox will no longer leave Tim Hudson out there. He's already called for the bullpen.
And he is calling for the right-hander, Pete Moylan. So we will have a new pitcher. Tell you about him right after this. His 30-year-old right-hander Pete Moylan on for the Major League leading 79th time this season.
Ground ball pitcher, a three-quarter delivery. Bobby Cox and the Braves need a ground ball.
And there go the runners. Pair of steals as DeRosa heads to third and Keel to second.
Well, just when you least expect it, Tony La Russa will kick it into overdrive. A great jump from DeRosa. Not even close there. And now, all of a sudden, the Cardinals, with nobody out here, they're not only looking to tie, they're looking to take the lead.
The pitch was a strike to Yadier Molina. Whoa, there goes the bat. Chipper trying to glove it. Well, now it's time for our Just for Men Stay in the Game Braves hold leaders. Moylan leading the way over Gonzalez, O'Flaherty, Soriano this season. Just as these pitchers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. The Braves trying to stay in the lead.
A very difficult batter to strike out in Yadier Molina. Only 33 strikeouts all year long. One of the more difficult hitters to strike out in all of baseball.
The 0-2. Outside, good stop by McCann. Inside.
Well, you can see Molina was really diving out there looking for something away, and Moylan straightened him right back up with a fastball in.
ball fouled away. Yadier, one of the 3 Molinas currently in the bigs. Benji, in his 12th season, he's out in San Francisco. Jose, backing up Jorge Posada. And then you got Yadier, who's the first Molina to make an all-star team. Also won a Gold Glove last season. His brother Benji's got a couple of those. Some rings in the family as well. Well decorated, those Molinas. Ball ripped down the right field line, but foul.
But you see just why Molina's so difficult to strike out. He's not looking to pull the ball, letting the ball travel. He just lets it travel, lets it get deep, and then just swats it the other way about 10 feet foul. That's a nice approach when you've got a guy on third and less than 2 outs, Chris. Let the ball travel. You don't need to pull the ball to drive the run in.
The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Moylan gets the job done there.
Now that one sure didn't travel. It just traveled to the glove of Brian McCann. What a great slider there from Moylan. And you see the just baffled swing right there from Yadier Molina. That's about as bad as you'll ever see him look in that situation.
Another pinch hitter for the Cardinals. It is Troy Glaus. Just 3 for 16. Activated earlier this month after spending the whole year on the DL. He had off-season shoulder surgery. Guy that could come in very handy for Tony La Russa come playoff time.
Oh, without a doubt. He's the guy that was the MVP of the World Series for the Angels. He has gotten a lot of big hits in his career. A big-time power guy. He's got to get him healthy. Back-to-back sliders just right on the button. 0-2.
Glaus 6 times in his career, more than 30 homers in a season, twice more than 40. His last home run, though, last September 28th against the Reds. Checks his swing. Didn't go. DeRosa, he singled. He is standing at third. Rick Ankiel, his second base hit, is over at second. Outside, it's 2-2. The 2-2 pitch by Moylan. Called third strike.
Maybe an extended outside corner there. Greg Gibson thought it got the edge of the outside corner. What do you think at home? Tough to tell there. What do you think there, Chris Rose?
I'm thinking I'm wearing a white shirt today, not a blue one.
Bottom line is, what a job by Moylan since he's come on. Back-to-back strikeouts of Molina and Glaus. Now they're going to intentionally walk Skip Schumacher.
And that'll bring on Brendan Ryan, who is 2 for 3 this afternoon with a pair of singles. So after the 4 freebies, The bases are now loaded.
Nowhere to put Brendan Ryan, who's having a conversation with Pujols. What do you think he's going to throw me? That's kind of the guy you want to get advice from, don't you think?
Yeah, he would be a bad player hitting coach.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be nice if it was like football or basketball where, you know, when the game's on the line, you always got the ball to Michael Jordan, keep it in his hands, or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, or in football you always gave it to Emmitt Smith, or you put it in the quarterback's hand. Wouldn't it be nice in baseball if you say, oh, baseball, I want Albert Pujols to hit?
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, not all the time. Bases loaded for the Cardinals, 2 down and down a run here in the 6th. Swing and a miss.
Well, we saw the breaking balls to Molina and Gloss. Now a fastball. Bottom fell out of that one. What a pitch. And watch this ball start above the knees, and it's just gone.
And the follow through actually caught McCann on the wrist. Checked his swing, but it is a strike, so says Ted Barrett down at first.
Brendan Ryan didn't like it. But you got to be careful what you say to Teddy Barrett at first base. You know, he's a former Gold Glove boxer. You don't want to mess with Teddy too much. What do you think at home? I think he went, don't you?
Yeah.
You pick your words carefully with Teddy Barrett at first base. He'll pinch your head off.
The 0-2. Low and outside. Who was it? Kenny Kaiser, that was a former wrestler?
Yeah, he was the masked wrestler, Mr. X or something like that. Yeah, Kenny Kaiser.
Yeah, it looks like Ted Barrett is very focused, as we like to say.
But a big sweetheart.
Yeah.
Big sweetheart. Just careful what you say to him, that's all.
The 1-2. Ball hit up the middle. Prado gloves it.
What
and
a
Pete
job
Moylan
by
comes
Pete
in
Moylan.
and does his job. Braves still lead it by 1. We'll return to St. Louis after word from your local Fox station. St.
had some
Louis.
fireworks,
yeah,
didn't we?
Tony La Russa coming out and talking to Greg Gibson, and he got tossed for the first time this year.
And that's Tim McClellan, the crew chief, trying to restore a little order, but Greg Gibson and Tony La Russa were going nose to nose. It was pretty good entertainment, and the fans gave him a standing ovation, so Tony La Russa will have to watch the rest of this one on TV.
Well, what was going on here, Gracie?
Well, I think there was some griping from the dugout, I think probably from Troy Gloss, or about the pitch to Troy Gloss. And in between innings, Gibson came over and started giving it to the Cardinal dugout, and La Russa came out and got ejected. You could see it was pretty heated. Boys will be boys, Chris.
79th time in his career, but Bobby Cox, such a gentleman, but 150 career ejections.
Tony's got a long way to go to catch Bobby.
Yeah, he's going to have to manage till about 3,072 to catch him. Bobby actually got ejected in back-to-back games last week, and now 150 career ejections. That leads all big league managers ever. So
these guys all have in common, they've all got World Series rings.
So a single by Brian McCann to start this frame, and now it's Garrett Anderson stepping in against the left-hander Dennis Reyes. And it is a strike. Reyes, a 32-year-old left-hander, appearing for the 67th time. 0-2 in ERA, approaching 3.5. Ball tapped foul. Not even going to mention all the teams that Dennis Reyes has pitched for. Rather shorter to tell you the ones he hasn't.
That he hasn't, I would imagine you're right. Really did some good things the last couple of years in Minnesota before coming down here. You can see Troy Gloss was not ejected, but Tony La Russa was, probably protecting Troy, as that one got away from Dennis Reyes. And that's the one thing about Tony. Tony will protect his players until he's no longer walking this earth. That's why players love playing for him.
Ball hit. Oh, crazy hop to Ryan, who gloves it and turns the double play. Great reaction by Brendan Ryan, as that ball took a tricky hop.
You can see it's a sharp ground ball, and as you said, the crazy hop over the head of Brendan Ryan, but he turns it into a routine double play. So very quickly now, out of the mess and restoring order is Dennis Reyes.
So 2 down, and Yunel Escobar stepping in. 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. Strike 1 from Reyes.
I also think Tony La Russa was maybe seeing that after a 1-0 loss here last night, the Cardinals have been a little sloppy with the pitching, a little sloppy with hitting with runners in scoring position. They just blew a big opportunity last inning. I'm sure Tony La Russa's trying to send his guys a message. Hey, I need to see a little more fire out there. I know we've got an 11-game lead, but we were talking to him earlier today. He does not want to get in cruise control, Chris.
Just off the plate, and speaking of just off the plate, this is the pitch that Tony La Russa did not like. It's the one that was called third strike to Troy Gloss, the bottom of the 6th.
And it's certainly close.
The 1-2 delivery. And no, says Teddy Barrett down at first base.
Let's take a look at what the former Gold Glover in boxing saw. Yeah, he checked it up. Teddy Barrett got that right.
Not Troy Gloss.
Not Troy Gloss.
Yeah, wondering. Not location, but swing pattern. That ball in the dirt.
Umpires never have a home game, Chris, but you know and I know. They get just about every one of them right. And they'll all tell you, That's the toughest call in all of baseball for them, is the check swings. If you're a third base or first base umpire, having to call the check swings, that's their most difficult one.
Yeah. The 3-2. Ball tapped to Ryan. Well, so Ryan responsible for all 3 outs in the 7th. We're heading to the bottom of the frame. It is stretch time. 5-4 Atlanta. Bing, the first ever decision engine from Microsoft. By Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times. And by Pepsi. Pepsi is the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus to go against Pete Moylan, who did a shutdown job in the 6th.
I would imagine Tim Hudson probably going to buy Pete Moylan dinner or maybe a beverage or 5 tonight.
But we'll see how he does with this part of the lineup before we start serving drinks. Ball ripped foul down the first base line. Well, Albert Pujols, the only player to hit at least 30 homers in each of his first 9 seasons. The second player with 9 straight seasons of 100 RBI. And the third player with at least a 300 average, 30 homers, 100 RBI in 8 straight seasons. Gehrig and Ruth. Man, we're watching history, folks, and if we don't appreciate it, we're going to be kicking ourselves once he's done.
Enjoy them while they're here. Guys like him are once-in-a-lifetime talents. Oh, what a pitch. That one just buckled Albert Pujols. That same slider. That one to the inside part of the plate, though, Chris. Started at the front hip of Albert Pujols and just bring it right in the inside corner. Heck of a pitch. You can see that one buckled Albert.
The 0-2. It's 1-2. 43,869 on hand today at Busch Stadium. It is even at 2-2.
Trying to get Albert to chase something out of the zone so far, not doing it.
Ball hit on a line to Escobar. There is one down.
even when you get him out, it's on a very hard hit ball. It was right at Escobar. That was that same slider. Even though he was out in front of it, he's just so doggone strong, Chris, that he can still hit a ball that hard with that kind of a swing.
Give a lot of credit so far to Pete Moylan on for the 79th time this season. It leads the bigs. He's a guy that had Tommy John surgery last May. The Australian started out in the Twins organization back in '96, '97. Didn't have success, went back overseas, came back.
Yeah, you root for guys like this. Man, look at the bite on that fastball. That fastball had some teeth right on the back foot. Starts at middle and then just watch it run way inside. And that's a full swing. That's not even a check swing. That's a full swing. That's the kind of stuff Pete Moylan has out there on the mound this afternoon.
Fouled away. Holiday 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the first. Grounded into a double play and popped out in his other plate appearances. Pujols hit it on the line against Moylan, but right at Escobar to start this frame. Now it's Holiday that you got to deal with. Just missed the inside corner there.
Bring it over the inside corner again, didn't he? Just missed it. You could see that one froze Holiday. We saw it come to the inside corner for a strike. That one stays a few inches inside.
Swing and a miss. Pete Moylan has done an amazing job in his 1 2/3 innings so far. But what about the starters this afternoon? Hudson and Loesch. It's time to bring the heat. Presented by Taco Bell. Low 90s for both.
Low 90s for both. Kyle Loesch, a disappointing start. Certainly he's trying to get some postseason confidence from his manager. He'd love to fit in there with Chris Carpenter, Adam Wainwright, Joel Pinheiro.
As good a 1-2-3 as you'll find in the bigs. Good day for Colby Rasmus. 2 for 3. An RBI, a single in the first. Doubled and scored in the 6th. Rasmus, a guy that missed some time with a hernia, dropped some weight. He's battled some Achilles issues as well. Used to save those injuries for old guys like you and me, not for a guy that's 23. The 1-1 fouled away. Rasmus, he will be in that discussion for National League Rookie of the Year. Only Garrett Jones has more homers. Second in runs as well. Actually considers himself an extra base hitting machine. This is a guy that feels
That's what he calls himself.
Well, I mean, it's not like a true nickname if you were to go.
Just call me extra base hitting machine.
Right, exactly. It's on his business card. It plays big in Peoria.
Well, and also I think he's going to get some votes just because he's on a very, he's a big part of a terrific ball club.
Fouled away again.
Success for the team anymore. A big factor in postseason honors. Gone are the days of MVPs for last place teams. Andre Dawson did it in 1987 with the Cubs.
Cal Ripken Jr. I think did it on a 6th place team, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he?
And Pete Moylan might be up for Cy Young after these 2 innings. He struck out 4 over 2, and the Braves maintain the 1-run lead. With his catcher Ryan McCann.
Well, they put together some pretty good sequences on some awfully good hitters the last 2 innings.
The only thing not good are the dews over there on the bench. Not much humidity to deal with for McCann's lid there. I don't know, Moylan.
We got those full beards too. Not much on top of the noggin, but plenty on the face.
Must be big in Brisbane or something. Adam LaRoche, 1 for 2. A couple of RBIs this afternoon. Also a triple. Big swing and a miss there, and he is out number 1 in the 8th. Time right now for our Hyundai in-game box score for the Braves, and you look right at the bottom for the top honors. Tim Hudson, first career homer, and also Chipper Jones with his first multi-hit game since August 27th. And we're going to have a little double switch scenario as Dennis Reyes has done his job. We'll tell you all about the big changes for the Cards right after this. Hander Jason Mott on for the 63rd time. He is 4-4, an ERA over 5. Delivers strike 1 to Matt Diaz.
A hard-throwing Jason Mott. Julio Lugo is going to come in and play second base for the rest of the ball game.
That means that Skip Schumacher has made the move on out to right field. There's the ball. Schumacher, an outfielder for his career until this season, so familiar territory for him. And Rick Ankiel has made the move to his right to center. Ball fouled away. Not one of those hard-throwing right-handers that actually got a shot at the closer's job very early this season before Ryan Franklin said, "I'll take that, thank you."
Take it and run with it. Been some struggles for Mott. An ERA of just over 5. Strikeout guy, though. Piles up the strikeouts with that hard fastball and curveball. And you see he just touched 98.
And you got to think that maybe some of these guys in the bullpen might be competing for a roster spot come playoff time as well.
Of course.
All depends how guys want to construct their roster. Diaz bounces it up the middle. Ryan, there's 2 down. Well, this October, the American League's best teams will collide in a month of unscripted and thrilling moments. We're going to see who's going to advance to the World Series. So I guess we're going to put the Yankees and the Tigers and the Angels. Who else? The Red Sox.
Now you're going to have to think about the Texas Rangers.
Wow. The promo department saying, forget the Rangers. They're not part of this anymore.
They better think again. Ron Washington's done an amazing job with the Texas Rangers this year. And they're right there.
Pinch hitter for the Braves. It is Brooks Conrad. Going to get a few swings. Looks at a ball down low. Conrad, 29-year-old switch hitter, signed as a minor league free agent. He was actually up earlier this year with the Braves. Did a nice job when Kelly Johnson was a little banged up. He was sent back down. A few of the players, some of the people that covered the team kind of thought, he had done a nice job. Maybe he should have stuck around.
Well, he's got a nice swing. He got a 2-0 fastball there, and he took a good rip at it, but fouled it off.
That ball is popped up and playable for DeRosa. Andy Fletcher, the third base umpire, had to dance to get out of the way. We are headed to the bottom of the 8th with the Braves up 1. Official partner of Major League Baseball road trips. By Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Sears. Sears, life well spent. A little Chipper Jones fan. Maybe there's a Mike Gonzalez fan in the house as well. There's at least one. He would be out on the mound. Mike Gonzalez, a 31-year-old left-hander, taking over for Pete Moylan, who...
He'll be rocking and rolling.
Yeah, he does. Delivers strike 1 to Mark DeRosa. Gonzalez on for the 73rd time this season, third most in the bigs. It's almost like a little Leo Mazzoni out on the mound.
Almost, yeah. It's interesting, to say the least.
Is it distracting to the hitter?
Well, since I didn't face him, his numbers are awfully good. He's got to be doing something. Sometimes I think he just rocks out there until he gets the sign he wants. And Ted Barrett makes all these Cardinal fans happy with a "no, he didn't go" sign.
Good job by the crowd picking up.
They're knowledgeable here.
Paying attention.
Ball 3.
Ryan Ludwig is now in the on-deck circle for the Cardinals. The 3-1 pitch. And a leadoff walk. And time right now for the Hyundai in-game box score for the St. Louis Cardinals. Not a lot of damage done by Pujols and Holiday. Good day for Colby Rasmus, who's actually been replaced in the lineup now. But a good day for Rick Ankiel with a couple of hits, but he has now been lifted. And Hyundai is introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. This is Ryan Ludwig, an all-star in the past, the everyday right fielder for Tony La Russa. 20 homers, 87 RBI this season. Taps one off his foot.
First pitch breaking ball there from Gonzalez. Ludwig a good fastball hitter, certainly. Gonzalez knows that. And most of the time, Chris, when you're coming off the bench, especially when you're an everyday player like Ludwig is, you come off the bench aggressive. You're looking for a first pitch fastball, you're going to be swinging. Gonzalez trumped that with a first pitch slider to jump ahead.
And that ball gets by McCann. Russa got a late break, but he's going to make it to second. So the tying run now in scoring position.
No more double play in order. That one got right through the 5-hole, to use a hockey term. McCann just couldn't get the gate closed in time, and it gets through. And DeRosa hesitated at first, but then realized, oh, I can get to second now.
Ball lifted down the first base line and out of play. Ludwig having a monster season with runners in scoring position, hitting almost 350. He was the National League Player of the Month in July.
Gas.
Swing and a miss by Ludwig. And there is one down. Well, Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, is going to congratulate Hideki Matsui for the fans that voted August MLB Clutch Performer of the Month Award. It is presented by Pepsi. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month Award at PepsiClutch.com. 8 homers, giving the Yanks yet another weapon in that deep, deep lineup.
Well, Yankee fans have to be very disappointed. They fell to under 40 games over 500. 39 games over 500 now with a loss to Baltimore today.
Yadier Molina 1 for 3. Big strikeout victim back in the 6th. He had 2 on with nobody out. Couldn't put the ball in play against Pete Moylan. A few Cardinals did that this afternoon as he struck out 4 of the 7 men he faced.
He got out of a monster jam in the bottom of the 6th inning and then just took it right to Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, and Colby Rasmus in the 7th. Now he turns it over to Mike Gonzalez, and he's trying to get out of a bit of a jam here to protect this 1-run lead. A lot of attention being paid.
And there goes DeRosa. Throw by McCann. Good save by Chipper Jones. It looks like the ball hit DeRosa as he was sliding head first into third.
Another great jump by DeRosa. Really not a very good job by the middle infielders of the Atlanta Braves by holding. It looks like he took that one right in the ribs. And now the Cardinals 90 feet away from tying the ball game up. Bobby Cox going to have to bring his infield in.
Well, DeRosa, one of those tough guys. Not only is he playing with a tendon that's going to have to be surgically repaired in his left wrist in the offseason. Former college quarterback. He's taken some hits over the years. Actually led the Penn Quakers to a 9-0 record back in 1994. But don't say it. They didn't play two-hand touch in the Ivy League. Ball is off of Escobar's mitt, and we have a tie game.
Got a fastball in. He pulls his hands in nicely. He thinks he lined out. No, it goes off the glove of Escobar.
Well, they're calling it a single and an RBI, even though it was hit right at Escobar.
I think you have to. It was hit hard. It was certainly not a routine play for Escobar.
This is Julio Lugo, his first plate appearance. Came on as a double switch defensive replacement. In the top of the frame, Lugo came over in a midseason deal from the Boston Red Sox for Chris Duncan.
And a leadoff walk, a wild pitch, a stolen base, and an infield single tied the ball game up.
Well, the stolen base by DeRosa, huge, because it forces you to bring in the infield.
Well, sure. Yeah, and the wild pitch to get him to second. Two 2-0 now. Gonzalez struggling.
Lugo hitting .301 in 34 games. That's part of this deal for St. Louis. They're not paying the $36 million contract of Julio Lugo. The Red Sox are going to pick up the tab, and Chipper cannot handle that one.
Well, these Atlanta Braves imploding here in the bottom of the 8th inning. What looked to be a one-hop double play ball. Instead, it handcuffs Chipper Jones.
Well, that is the 21st error on Chipper Jones. That leads all third basemen in the majors. So now a base hit by Skip Schumacher, and the Cardinals could reclaim the lead. And he looks at strike one. Schumacher 0 for 3, intentionally walked. Back in the 6th. Ball hit back up the middle. Prado is going to flip it in. Another disaster, as it is another error for the Braves.
Well, that is about. Now Mike Gonzalez having to get about 6 or 7 outs in this inning. Back-to-back double play balls kicked. That's one where I think Prado could have probably taken it himself. Instead, he goes to flip it and just rolled a ground ball to Escobar. I mean, just routine as could be. And he just can't make the play, and the Braves self-destructing.
I mean, it conceivably could have been 3 straight errors. I know the ball hit by Molina was sharp, but Escobar had it in his mitt.
Without a doubt.
And then Chipper. And
don't forget the wild pitch as well.
Swing and a miss by Brendan Ryan.
Chased a high fastball. Came up empty. in this situation, Chris, is the hitter. That was a big, mighty rip right there. You don't need a gapper. Man, you just need to put something in play. You just need one run right here.
Second straight time that Ryan has batted with the bases loaded, hit into a fielder's choice to end the sixth. Ball back up the middle, and with some funky spin, there's one. No, they did not call Schumacher out for avoiding the tag. That's what Prado's saying here. He said that Schumacher went too far around it, but instead the Cardinals grabbed the lead.
No argument from Bobby Cox. I think Bobby Cox is just fed up with what he's seeing in the bottom of this inning. Martin Prado looked like he had the tag. Second base umpire and crew chief Tim McClellan said nope. And then Adam LaRoche didn't throw the ball to second base. Let's see. Yep, that's a miss. He missed him, and he's not out of the baseline. And then Adam LaRoche didn't throw the ball to second base. Well, what a disaster here for the Atlanta Braves in the bottom of the eighth inning. Just gift wrapping this one for the Cardinals.
Well, this is just the seventh intentional walk to Albert Pujols since Matt Holliday came on board. Everybody asks, well, how does it change the game when you add Holliday to your roster? That's how. So it's the 41st time Pujols takes the short intentional jog down to first.
And I would be shocked if Bobby Cox left Mike Gonzalez in to face Holliday. He's got a right-hander loose in the bullpen, but looks like it's Gonzalez.
Ball one high. Ryan Franklin warming in the pen as Matt Holliday takes strike one. Four career grand slams and an average of nearly 400 for Matt Holliday with the bases loaded. Did he check his swing in time? No, says Ted Barrett.
Ted's been getting an earful all day, hasn't he? I think he's getting to the point where he's enjoying it down there. Well, they're just tough calls, aren't they?
Outside, it is 2-2. One of the errors this inning committed by Chipper Jones, another by Martin Prado. As you said, Gracie, given the Cards about 6 or 7 outs this inning, and there is officially out number 3. But the Braves defenseless here in the 8th. And the Cards take a 6-5 lead into the 9th. 6th appearance, but his first since blowing just his 3rd save Sunday. This guy had 37 saves, tied for the National League lead with San Diego's Heath Bell. Facing the top of the order in Nate McLeod, and it is strike 1 after 6 days off for the Cardinals closer. Ryan Ludwig, pinch hit last inning, is in right field. Skip Schumacher playing his 3rd position today in center. And that ball is ripped to right. And Ludwig's going to have to chase it down. McLeod leads off the frame with a double.
Well, a rope down the right field line off the bat of Nate McLeod. And now all of a sudden now Atlanta, after just gift wrapping 2 runs for the Cardinals, well, they're saying I'm not ready to go away. That ball was drilled down the right field line.
24th double of the season for McLeod, and you might be wondering, well, that ball got caught under the wall. Why isn't McLeod standing over at 30? He did miss 17 games with a strained hammy, so he's not 100% on the base paths. Can't quite air it out. Well, please join Major League Baseball and the People's All-Stars among us in your community by signing up to volunteer at MLBGoBeyond.com.
Well, now the question is for Bobby Cox and the Atlanta Braves, do you bunt here with Martin Prado to set up Chipper Jones and or Brian McCann? I think the answer is yes. I think you are bunting here. Albert Pujols and Mark DeRosa, the corner infielders, they certainly think the bunt's on. Oh, he's swinging away. Mercy. He got a good pitch to whack, too.
Prado 0 for 4.
That is a bad feeling as a first baseman. When you're in for the bunt and you get a swing like that.
Might be counting your teeth after
exactly.
the play.
That's a bad feeling creeping in. Whoa. Well,
yeah,
just challenged him right down the middle, and he jumps ahead 0-2.
You know, Mark, I know that closers like to work every few days. They've shut down Franklin. He had a lot of work. They just want to make sure he's going to be ready for October. But 6 days in between appearances, that must feel like a month.
Well, sometimes you can be a little too strong. And then because you're too strong, you're not locating. You've got good velocity, but you don't locate.
That ball in the dirt. Great stop again by Yadier Molina, the Gold Glover.
And nothing getting through Yadier Molina, Gold Glover, as you said. Watch him just smother this slider. Nowhere for it to go. Perfect form there. Perfect execution. All you young catchers at home would do yourselves well to watch that.
Ball ripped up the middle into center field, a base hit. Schumacher charges, and McLeod's going to be held at third, although the throw comes through. Still, Prado hangs on with a single.
No bunt whatsoever.
Well, he still moved him to third.
And now they'll go ahead and run on first base as well. So Martin Prado, after kicking a double play ball in the bottom of the 8th inning, he atones somewhat for it by getting a big base hit with 2 strikes here in the 9th.
Well, here is Chipper Jones, who also had an error in the bottom of the 8th. Braves 2 for 6 this afternoon with runners in scoring position. And Chipper looks at ball 1. Chipper's first 2-hit game in 2 weeks. Since going 2 for 3 August 27th against San Diego. And it is 2-0.
2 close pitches, but just off the plate now. Chipper Jones, he can look for 1 pitch in 1 spot. This guy's got so many clutch hits in his career, big hits. Not the guy Cardinal fans want to be facing in this situation. Not even close there, ball 3.
Well, it has been a rough go as of late for the man that is tied for the NL lead with 37 saves. He's given up at least 1 run, at least 2 runs in 2 of his last 3 outings. So it's been a struggle for Franklin, who appeared in the All-Star game here in St. Louis back in July. And 4 straight.
Almost looked like a pitch around, didn't it?
It sure did. Well, time for our Holiday Inn game-changing plays today. And you saw it in the bottom of the 8th, the wild pitch. Then Escobar can't hang on to that shot by Yadier Molina. Tying run scores. Chipper Jones can't handle the Julio Lugo shot for an error. Martin Prado trying to turn 2 and gets 0. And then on the Brendan Ryan ground ball, Prado can't tag Schumacher, and that put the Cardinals up 1. Holiday Inn game-changing plays. Signs of change are everywhere. Now Brian McCann with the bases loaded and nobody out.
All of a sudden, Ryan Franklin in a mess.
McCann 4 for 11 with 7 RBI with the bases loaded.
77 on the season. Looking to give his team the lead.
Garrett Anderson would be next. And there is nobody warming in that St. Louis pen right now. Dave Duncan looking on. Tony La Russa ejected earlier in this game. Swing and a miss by McCann. So he fouled it off.
Well, Franklin needs a strikeout and needs it in the worst way, and he just threw a beautiful, almost like a changeup there, dipping out of the zone late to get the second strike.
Fouled away. Inside, almost hit him. So
I would imagine that's a fastball in to get McCann to move, get him off the plate. You're right. The last thing you need right there is a hit by pitch to tie the ball game, and probably go right back to that changeup now to the outer third after showing him inside with the fastball.
The 2-2 delivery. Fouled away again.
Right back in. He went with the fastball. He doubled up in there. Broke the bat of Brian McCann. He's going to have to get a new wand.
McLouth at third. He led off the frame with a double. Prado singled. He is at second. And Chipper Jones, who walked on 4 pitches, is standing over at first. And that ball is hammered to center field. Schumacher is looking up. It is off the wall, and the Braves will reclaim the lead as McLouth and Prado score. Second and third for the Braves. It is 7-6 Atlanta. And Franklin gets roughed up again.
Chipper Jones is hurt at third base. I think he pulled a hamstring. And he pulled a hamstring on this play. There's the changeup away we were talking about, Chris, and he drilled it deep to center off the wall. And now start the merry-go-round. And Chipper Jones pulls up lame right there. And he's been pulled from the game. You can see he is in some agony. And Dave Duncan's having a meeting on the mound with his struggling closer. Oh, what a crazy game this has been, Chris Rose.
Well, for the Cardinals, Franklin is their 6th pitcher, the all-star closer. And for the 3rd time in 4 outings, he has been
hit hard,
spanked all over the yard. It's his first appearance in 6 days.
Brad Thompson's getting loose out in the Cardinal bullpen. And Garrett Anderson's trying to extend the lead. Still nobody out.
Ball hit foul. So we have 2 pinch runners as well. Omar Infante is taking over for Chipper Jones over at third. And Brian McCann, who hit the 2-run double, has been replaced out at second by Reed Gurecki. Infield in for the Cardinals, and a called strike 3 on Garrett Anderson for the first out of the inning.
Big time pitch right there. After some changeups, now he gets a big roundhouse curve ball, stays up, just taking it all the way. That ball just stayed up and right down the middle, and it just froze up. Garrett Anderson, so 1 big out. Trying desperately to keep it a 1-run game is Ryan Franklin.
And now all you have to do is deal with the guy who's the best in the bigs with runners in scoring position, Yunel Escobar. 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. Infield remains in with runners at second and third. And that ball's popped up. Lugo goes out and makes a nice over-the-shoulder catch as Ludwig just wasn't going to get there. Well, it is week 1 of the NFL season coming up tomorrow, so the over-the-shoulder catches very prevalent on the weekend.
Looking like Larry Fitzgerald out there. That's a tough play. The outfielders are not going to be able to get there, so you could just see Lugo timed it and made a nice catch. You can see he was playing in. He had a long way to go for that ball, but made a huge catch, and now they're going to intentionally walk Adam LaRoche. I believe it's going to be Mike Diaz with the opportunity now.
Matt Diaz 1 for 3 on the afternoon with a double. So this 9th inning has been a nightmare for Ryan Franklin.
Well, if you're Tony La Russa, bases loaded this season, boy, Matt Diaz has been wonderful. But if you're, are you starting to get concerned about Ryan Franklin if you're Tony La Russa? I say the answer's got to be yes.
That seems to be a prevailing theme for teams that are leading their divisions in the National League. I don't know what to do with Brad Lidge up in Philadelphia. It's been Ryan Madsen who's gotten the ball the last few days, the pressure situations.
Getting your closer right and getting them out there in the right times, because it's just a tough fence to walk, Chris, because you know here's Brad Lidge. He was so instrumental in bringing a World Series to Philadelphia.
Perfect in safe situations last
and then
year.
This year, well, he's been, in a word, he's been bad.
10 blown saves.
And with an ERA over 7, it was a swing and a miss for strike 2. But at the end of the day, Charlie Manuel, man, aren't you just trying to win ball games? You're trying to win baseball games.
Rafael Soriano warming up. He's going to get his shot to shut the Cards down in their half of the ninth. 1-2 delivery to Diaz. Swing and a miss. And a tough go around for the all-star closer. He was on to close the door, and the Braves and Brian McCann kick it open. They take a 7-6 lead. Going to the bottom of the ninth. Last few frames here in St. Louis. The Cardinals all-star closer Ryan Franklin couldn't get the job done. The Braves will turn to their closer, Rafael Soriano. See if he can do his job, which he did so well last night, saving the win for Jared Jurgens. 23 for 27 in save opportunities, including a scoreless ninth last night. He is facing a pinch hitter, Khalil Green. Looks at strike 1.
Blazing fastball to jump ahead 0-1. Another one right by him.
The 0-2 ball popped out of play. All sorts of changes for the Braves. Reed Gurecki in left field. Pinch ran for Brian McCann. Martin Prados moved from second to third to replace the injured Chipper Jones. Omar Infante, who pinch ran for Jones, in at second. And it is David Ross now behind the plate and catching strike 3 from Rafael Soriano.
Soriano quickly disposes of Khalil Green after some fastballs to jump ahead. He puts him away with the slider. Mark DeRosa now.
Well, tonight on Fox, don't miss the season premiere of Cops and America's Most Wanted. It all starts at 8, 7 Central, only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. DeRosa checks his swing, and not in time, and strike one. DeRosa with a good day. A couple of stolen bases.
Man, what a pitch. Outside corner at the knees. Russa just can only wave at this one.
Inside, 1-2. Just missed the corner.
Soriano thought he had strike three. Greg Gibson said, not quite so fast. You be the judge at home. And
the count is full now. Ball fisted and caught by Infante, so there's 2 down. And now it's up to Ryan Ludwig.
boy, just ate him up with a fastball there, an easy pop out. Ludwig thought he had the day off today, but he was needed to pinch hit. In the last inning, he was a strikeout victim. And now he stands between Atlanta and their 3rd straight.
Ball fouled away. The producer of today's game is Jeff Gowen. The director is John Moore. Associate director Aaron Stoikov. Broadcast associate Matt Saldana. Technical producer is Craig Marlowe. Technical director Donald Lucy. Second statisticians Mark Seguro and Mike Natero. Ball popped up, and that is going to be it. The Braves with a rally against the Cardinals all-star closer. And Rafael Soriano does his job on the day that Franklin does not. Mike Gonzalez gets the win to even his record at 4-4. Franklin falls to 2.